understood.
Alright, now let's just get straight to the point. What memories did you steal from us? When the group pictures were taken, and those interviews, it must mean... I got it. It must have something to do with our entrance exams. No fair. At least give us a hint.
Your brains are like sponges, all drippy and leaky. I already gave you a hint before. All the memories you lost share something in common with a few other things. Do you recall?
Thinking back to what Monokuma's told us, the memories that were stolen from us and what they must be related to... I guess the motives. You're talking about the motives you provided to try and get us all to kill each other, right?
So you do remember, after all. Well, I would hope you wouldn't forget something so important. It was stupid of me to even ask. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for my bad manners. Well then, let me ask you one other question. Did you notice that each motive I presented you had a specific theme to it? A theme? Yep, you got it. So that's my question to you all. When Sayako was murdered, what was the theme of the motive I presented?
The theme of the motive Monokuma gave us for the first murder. Monokuma gave us those DVDs. On my DVD was footage of my family. And Sayaka's was her and her friends. They had a dream they all shared. So for the first murder, the motive we were given was... the driving force behind the motive you presented us with that... the driving force behind the motive you presented us with at that point was human connections.
Ding ding ding! You got it! Remember those DVDs I gave you guys? Each video showed the total destruction of your most important relationships. For example, your family. For example, your friends. I ruined all those relationships and showed you the results. It was to motivate your desire to escape and kickstart your urge to kill. But still, what a cruel thing to do. You're the one that did it. Yes, well, I'm perfectly happy to accept your disapproval. Okay, time for the next question. So, what was the theme of the second motive?
For the second murder, the motive's theme was... That's when I got those weird envelopes from Monokuma. Mine mentioned how I used to wet the bed. So the theme that time was... it was our past, right?
Yay! Makoto got it right again! That time the theme was... embarrassing memories and secrets. Yeah! And the whole reason Mondo did what he did to protect his secret.
So, how long do you plan on dragging this out?
Relax, relax. Okay, on to the next question. So, what was the motive for the third murder?
The theme for the third murder was... the reason Celeste turned to murder was... she wanted to buy a European castle and live there with a bunch of handsome men. So that time, the motive for murder was... greed. It was money, wasn't it? Greed.
Seek and destroy. Hell yeah, you got it again. Goddamn straight it was money. Celeste killed Hifumi and Taka for a little personal gain. Her greed led to all kinds of death and destruction.
What's the point of all this? Why are you making us go through this case by case?
Don't worry, sweet cheeks. Just one more to go. Now, can you tell me the motive behind crazy-ass Sakura's crazy-ass death?
The motive in the case of Sakura's death was... what was it that made Sakura decide to kill herself? It had to do with Monokuma exposing Sakura's secret. So the theme of the motive in that fourth case was...
that's it. Monokuma blackmailed Ogre to get her to kill us.
Hey, What you call blackmail, I call doing business. Seriously, you just don't get it?
There's no doubt that Monokuma tried to coerce Sakura into killing one of us. But that's not what led to Sakura killing herself. There was another reason. Betrayal, I guess? Yeah. In her case, it was betrayal.
Precisely. You see, once I revealed Sakura's betrayal, that led to everything that came afterwards. Anyway, it looks like you answered all my questions correctly. How painfully delightful. But what's the point? What meaning is there in asking those questions now? Relationships, secrets, money, betrayal? Those are all pretty standard motives, right? The most normal of normal, totally middle of the road. But of course, those aren't the only motives that exist in this world. In fact, there are as many reasons to kill as there are people on Earth. They compel humans to kill each other, bringing despair to the world. This is what we refer to as the seed of despair. Seed of despair? Just as water, air, and food promote growth in living things, the seed of despair also needs nourishment. And that nourishment is hope. Despair can grow only in the presence of hope. Two sides of the same coin, divided by a razor-thin line. Such is hope and despair. How much longer is this stupid speech of yours? Aren't we discussing our missing memories? Why are you trying to change the subject? If you would listen, you would see I'm not changing the subject. We are discussing your memories. What I'm trying to say is the seed of despair is closely tied to your own memories. How so? You see, by taking away your memories, I gave you hope. Of course, that hope merely existed to be consumed by despair. How could taking away someone's memories give them hope? And plus, you haven't given us any hope anyway. Is that so? All you've been able to think about during your time here is how to escape, right? The mere fact that that's what you want proves I gave you hope. What are you talking about? If none of you wanted to escape this school, the killings would have never taken place. That is why I took your memories, so that you would have the desire to leave. It's like, man, at this point the word despair has been said so much that it doesn't even sound like a word to me anymore. The only reason we want to leave is because you took our memories. Is that what you're trying to say? Correctamundo.
Which means, if we did have our memories, we wouldn't want to leave. Do I understand that right? What? Why the hell would having our memories make us not want to leave?
The most troubling thought, isn't it? But it's not enough. I want more distress, more despair. I put so much effort into creating hope in order to feed your despair and make it grow. So, just like Crazy Eddie's slashing his prices and passing his savings on to you, let me give you a hint. Huh? Really?
Then hurry up and tell us.
Okie dokie. Like they say, seeing is believing. I'd like for you to see the outside world.
The outside world? You mean the world beyond the school walls?
So something really did happen out there. Now are you interested in what I have to say? You want to see what's out there? I want to see too. See your faces sink into despair. Now then, open sesame! Behold, the world beyond the school walls. This is the outside world you've all been so anxious to claw your way back into.
What the hell? Okay, I guess Monokuma took over the world. Not surprising. You get what you fucking deserve. What the?
Dangerous. The world has grown so very dangerous. That's what this means.
What are you talking about? None of this makes any sense.
What am I looking at? This is a scene from a movie or something, right? What you just saw. All of you should recognize it.
We should recognize it? What about it should we recognize? This whole thing is insane.
That world is locked away within the memories that were taken from you. If you can't remember, please just try. Do your best to try and recall.
Better kick your brain in the ass, cause it's up to that gray lump whether you live or die. I don't remember ain't a fucking excuse no more, cause now it's the time for the final class trial.
Damn, I guess we're still at it. I thought the closing argument would be the end of it. Okay, remember or die. What the fuck happened outside? Where the fuck did Monday go? Shit. I feel like that's the one I should shoot. I can't remember. Is it all over? I mean, how can she show us something so completely incomprehensible and let's just say remember? Every single one of us lost our memory. It really is hopeless after all. No, wait. There's a chance that she hasn't forgotten.
That's right. Kyoko was able to remember her own, yeah, let's see. No, Genocide Jack.
Put that despair the fuck away, lady. It's hope time. Actually, she might remember.
Who might remember?
The other Toko, Genocide Jack.
What?
The two of them share certain kinds of knowledge, but their memories aren't linked, right?
I see. If their memories are separate, and even if one personality is forgotten, there's a chance the other may still have those memories.
What do you say, Toko?
Are you telling me to swap places with her? No, absolutely not. That'd be like forfeiting my entire identity. Toko, you're the only one we can rely on now.
Hitsu! Dun dun dun! It's me, your friendly neighborhood serial killer. Boy, she just gave in like it was nothing.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I want to have it answered immediately. Who is your daddy, and what does he do? Do you know anything about this video?
Huh? What video?
That video that's playing right now.
Who the hell are you?
Oh, I'm the mastermind.
Oh, nice to meet ya.
Nice to meet you too.
That's enough, just look at the stupid screen.
Aye aye, Roger. You got it, Cap'n.
Fucking Monokuma kaiju.
Well, does it look familiar?
I don't have all the details, but... Of course it does.
Then you remember all the stuff it's showing?
Of course I do.
So you didn't lose your memory after all.
Then why didn't you say something earlier? I only answer questions when someone bothers to ask me. I'm the quiet type, you know.
Oh my god, she's the worst liar in the world. More importantly, if you really do remember, what is it? Huh? What's the matter, Master? Do you really not remember the tragedy? The tragedy? Oh no, you seriously forgot? Maybe I can help you remember. With a kiss? Just answer the question. What happened out there? Well, I can't really say if it happened or if it's still happening. But it was the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
What?
Why is that phrase coming up now? 'Cause it's all 'cause of that event.
What is?
Are you serious? I'm talking about the way the world is now. Is now?
The world's been destroyed, get it?
Destroyed? Explain yourself. Tell us everything you know. Copy that, darling. Okay, so this big, awful, tragic event. They started just calling it the tragedy. It happened about a year ago. It was so big and so bad that even this murderous fiend went pale at the sight of it. I guess you could say what happened was man-made. But it was more on the level of a worldwide natural disaster. Either way, there's no doubt that it was the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. And as a result, in basically no time flat, the world turned out the way it did, and that's that.
That's all there is to it? Come on, there wasn't a single concrete description in there.
Well, it just so happens I don't know any of the specifics. Miss Moreau saw it play out in real time, so why don't you ask her? We already did, and she didn't know anything. That's why we're asking you. I couldn't live up to Master's expectations. To die. This is the true tragedy. Okay. That's enough of your little lover's quarrel. Whatever happened, it doesn't matter at this exact point in time, right? The end justifies the means. Everything serves the outcome. In other words, the world has ended. That's the important thing.
How can the world just end? It's the world.
Calm down. It's okay. There's no need to panic. Every living person will be dead in 100 years anyway, so the world ending isn't that big a deal. Oh, come on. Now you're just being ridiculous. Well, as long as we're being ridiculous, I have another ridiculous story to tell you. It's the story of the Togami Corporation, which has given Byakuya's life all its meaning. What? What did you say? I'm glad to see you took the bait. You bit into it like a middle-aged secretary at an all-you-can-eat cake buffet.
Hey, so, what do you think happened to the Togami family,
Correct! Well done, peasant.
But I didn't say anything yet.
I just got so fucking bored waiting I couldn't help it. Even if you're wrong, eventually you'll figure it out, right? Till then, you're just going in circles. So no matter what you pick, you get the right answer. Pretty innovative, don't you think?
But do you think it might just be a disease? Getting bored so easily, I mean. Do you think I might be sick?
Anyway, like I was saying, Byakuya's entire lineage has been totally annihilated.
What? What the hell are you talking about? I can confirm that his entire family has died, even the distant relatives. The Togami name has perished. Stop with his idiotic jokes. Stop? And said with such authority, a peasant would dare challenge us, the avatar of divine punishment? You must learn your place, peasant. You are no longer the ultimate affluent progeny. They couldn't possibly be gone. The Togami family is destined to guide the world.
Hell, there is no world anymore, remember? It got fucked a full year ago.
Hold on, that doesn't make any sense.
Huh? That don't make sense?
There's no way that happened a year ago. I mean, we only came to the school a few weeks ago.
Oh, Makoto, you poor sweet summer child, you still don't get it, do you?
Some kind of world-ending event happened over a year ago. And how do you explain the totally normal world we were living in up until then?
Yeah, that was a year ago. Where do you think the memories... Where do you think all the memories you lost went?
Have you considered the possibility that you're mistaken about that?
Mistaken?
Well, if I'm understanding you right, sounds like you think the tragedy happened a year before you arrived here.
Well, yeah, like he said, we just got here a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago? Oh, I get it. You're saying what happened 2 years ago actually happened more recently, right?
Huh? 2 years ago?
Well, I mean, you guys all started attending Hope's Peak Academy 2 years ago.
Wait, what? 2 years ago? What does that...
What the hell is this chick trying to say? I understand why you'd have trouble accepting it, but in the end, you can't deny the truth. And the truth is, everything is cause and effect. Deny that, and you may as well give yourself up to God. So, you must truly understand all the hints I've given you so far, right? What are the memories I took from you? Come now, answer us. Answer with all your heart and soul.
How the hell are we supposed to answer?
I just don't know what's going on anymore. Still, we have to answer somehow. If we don't, everything ends right here. The memories that were stolen from us. If what Junko says is true, we first came here 2 years ago, but the rest of us only remember getting here within the last few weeks or so. So the memories she took from us... If we accept that what you say is true, then we must have lost our memories from the last 2 years after coming to the school.
No. Nope. No, I mean, no matter what anyone says. Another correct answer. Or another correct answer. Well done, peasant. Seriously? This routine again? We've lost 2 years worth of memories? That's right. You've already spent 2 full years here at Hope's Peak Academy. And that entire period of time is precisely what you've forgotten. I don't remember the last 2 years of my life? That's not possible.
I want to think that too, but I don't want to believe it. That's nothing but our desire. I don't want to believe. I want it to be impossible. But if it's the truth, then we have to accept it.
Man, what more is there to it? Oh, Hero's notebook. No. How freaking old am I? No. I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what I have to shoot with what. Whew.
Hero, there's something I'd like you to take a look at. This notebook right here.
Huh? Hey, why's my name written on it?
I found it in the locker room on the 2nd floor. If you don't mind, could you take a look inside?
Sure, whatever you want. But I've never seen this notebook before in my life. Waza? Is something wrong? It's kinda similar. No. Even more than that. What the... This is absolutely my handwriting, without a doubt. But how is this? I don't remember ever writing anything in this thing. No way.
Looks like you actually did attend class here at Hope's Peak, but somehow you forgot all about it.
Lies. It's all one big lie. I don't want to believe it either. But there's also no explanation for this pocketbook. And whose pocketbook is that? It's mine. And the handwriting inside is also mine. There's no doubt about it. But just like Hero, I have no memory of ever writing in it. And the reason for that is the 2 years of missing memories?
After seeing all the evidence, do you have any choice but to acknowledge the truth? Isn't it just so desperately dark? The mystery's solved, but it's like a goddamn funeral in here. Shit, man, I've never even been to a funeral. Hell yes!
2 years of school life. How many moments of blossoming youth have you missed out on? How many fun classes? How many school events? This was your chance to build lasting friendships, right? And on top of that, something tragically sad happened 1 year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Right before everyone's eyes, the world came crashing down. You absorbed all that despair, but then you forgot it all. And once you'd forgotten, you made the choice to subject yourselves to this killing game. Oh, and there's one other thing. To be even more precise, the memories you all lost were... Actually, never mind. I'm bored. Explaining stuff is boring. What? We are bored of this world. Everyone always talks big, declaring all the great things they'll do, but then they always fizzle out. This world is just so desperately fucking boring. What are you talking about? In a way, I'm jealous of all of you. To give yourself over so completely... Okay, let me try that again. To give yourself over so completely to such stimulating despair.
Yeah, so figure the rest out for yourselves. I'm sick of expeditioning all this shit.
Figure out what?
Figure out where your memories come apart. That's at the heart of all this.
Where our memories come apart? Did she talk about the moment where we must have lost our memories? I can only think of one time. Just after I set foot in the main hall for the first time, and that was... the moment I lost my memories. I can't think of any time other than that day. I thought it was just the mushrooms I took the night before. When I first came to the gates of this school and stepped foot in the main hall. When I passed out, I was overcome with such a strange sensation.
Wow, you still have enough spirit to keep on talking, huh? So I don't know about the details, but seems like everyone remembers passing out, right? And your sense of time got all messed up because of the memory loss after that. I guess it must have been something like that.
After I passed out, I woke up in a classroom with my head on a desk. I assumed not much time had passed since I'd collapsed in the main hall.
But instead, 2 full years had gone by.
The reason it felt so short was because our memories of the time in between had been completely removed.
You got it, honey. 2 years worth of memories, poof, gone. Which means, of course,
when everyone met for the first time, it wasn't actually the first time. Unaware of this fact, you took the time to introduce yourselves to each other, but... by that point, we'd already spent 2 full years together at the school. That's what those photos reveal, isn't it?
Yep, that's what they reveal. You were all such close friends. You spent 2 years together, and you started killing each other. And it was all so you could escape into a world that's already been annihilated. What a terribly tragic tale. Even if you left now, there's nothing you can do to fix it.
You're the one who set things up to be like this.
I love you all so much.
What?
Once your school life here began, I thought about you constantly. It's only natural that I would fall in love.
So since I love you guys so much, I'll tell you all about it. All about the idea we came up with as the ultimate despair. Our plan to bring despair to all mankind.
The ultimate despair? All mankind?
Let's go back in time 2 years, okay? Back to when everyone first came to this school. School life during that first year overflowed with hope and happiness. Oh boy, it was just the worst. Everyone was enjoying themselves so much. You were all having the time of your lives.
But that couldn't last forever, of course. The peacefulness only made it through that first year. Because after that, an event unfolded that hammered a soul-crushing despair into all of humanity. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the tragedy. All too soon, the world's days of peace came to a bloody end. And as you can imagine, the school was no exception. The tragedy made its way here, leading to the extermination of most of the students. What are you? What do you mean? The most tragic event in human history, and the ultimate despair that caused it. I can't believe it's all because of you and Mukuro. Was it some kind of organization? An angry mob? An incredibly motivated family? You have a point. If I had to describe it, I'd say it was none of those. How can I put it? It was more of an ideological thing. Despair is contagious, you know. It's almost like a natural phenomenon. Everyone is capable of it. And now, the entire world has fallen into despair. In other words, if you see despair as the enemy, then your enemy is the world itself. I just don't understand why. We didn't ask you to try to understand. This was a tangent anyway, unrelated to the matter at hand. Okay, so let's get back to the story. Hope's Peak had taken so much damage. You guys were the only survivors. The members of the 78th class of Hope's Peak Academy were the only ones left.
And then, something super neat happened. Now pay attention, cause this is important. I'm only gonna say it once. So guess what? To protect everyone who had survived, Hope's Peak was transformed into a shelter. That's right, it was transformed into a shelter. Ah, I said it twice. Now, someone was responsible for that transformation, for creating what would eventually become your prison. Do any of you know who that might have been?
The one who turned Hope's Peak into a shelter and isolated us here.
Yeah, the headmaster.
Could only have been the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. He wanted to turn the school into a shelter to try and protect us. To protect us from the despair and tragedy taking place outside. That's why he asked us to make that promise. To say that we were willing to live in this school forever.
We believe he had something like that in mind, yes. If you, the collective hope of the new generation, could survive, maybe the world could have had a fresh start. Yeah, the headmaster put that much faith in you.
And because we had that same hope, that's why we all agreed to live here forever.
But creating the shelter was also his single biggest mistake. It's laughable, really. He was the headmaster, but he had no idea. He had no idea that we, the ultimate despair, had already made our way into the school. So what was supposed to be a shelter to keep you safe became a cage that made it impossible for you to escape despair. I have to say, it really helped me out a lot. Saved me a ton of time. By the way, it was you yourselves who locked off the windows, the doors, all the exits. Under the headmaster's direction, you all went about your work like obedient little sheep.
You mean we trapped ourselves in here?
And then you forgot all about it and started bitching about how you were trapped in here. Once you had finished building your little shelter, it was time for me and Mukuro to get to work. Thus began the killing game.
Me and Mukuro had come here, spending the last 2 years waiting for that moment.
That moment where you all began killing each other served as the climax of our global despair plan. And the only reason you survived the tragedy was so that you would be a part of it. Was so that you could be a part of it. You only let us live so we could go around killing each other? Is that what you're saying?
Why? Why would you do that?
Because this was so much more than a simple high school deathmatch. Rather, it was a method to hunt down and destroy every last remaining speck of hope in the world.
What are you saying?
Well, it would seem that there's a little bit left out there. A few souls willing to give up hope. So I thought I should show them, which is why I...
Well, why don't you tell me?
What the mastermind did to show everyone in the outside world, that was...
When the fuck did the